Hi guys, how are you? Welcome back to my garden for another planting video. Today I want to take you with me into the front garden again, specifically into that small area at the driveway. And if you remember, earlier on in the year I already shared a spring planting video there with you. But most of those plants, I can't even say they petered out. What happened is over the past couple of weeks we had gorgeous weather. It was clear blue skies, the sun was out, it was perfect beach weather quintessentially, but really bad for the garden. I haven't watered that at also all of those spring plants. They're dead as a doornail. They're fried in the sun, they're brown, so definitely that is not a very cute sight. So what I want to do in today's video is, first of all, I want to tour you around and show you that area there and share with you how everything looks at the moment. And don't expect too much. I think the only plant that survived from that planting video are the wallflowers, maybe the scabious. I'm not even sure about those, to be honest. Then I want to share with you all those fun plants that I found in the garden center. There are some really cute color combinations and really intriguing plants in there that I've never had in my own garden, so also I'm really excited about that. And then I want to plant everything with you, and I hope that towards the end of the video we're really going to have a nice before and after result. And you might realize I'm walking around here, somebody films me, because my friend Claudia from Germany, she's visiting me here. And later on in the video you're also going to see her because she wants to help plant a little bit. And for everybody of you who always sees my videos, you might remember her because roughly a year ago I shared a video with you where Claudia and I visited a park garden in the castle in Germany, and that we spent some time together. But that was in the past. Today we're going to do some planting, and I hope that you're excited to join me in the garden. We're standing here on the driveway to our property, and in your back there is a street, legit 2 meters in your back. So if you hear cars passing by, I'm really sorry because the microphone, the audio is going to catch it too. But I hope, and I think it's still going to work out. So this is one side that we basically planted up in a previous video. And here you see, aren't my pansies and violas looking pretty? You can't even tell what is what. They are flat, fried flat. This here was, oh my God, look at that. There was a pansy, poor little thing, it gave up completely weeks ago already. But I can't water everything. Here the wallflowers, look at them. They look still fantastic. I mean, we have to tidy them up just a notch. We have to come in and just like cut off some of the spent flower stems, because I think that they might even flower again because there are some buds coming from the base of the plant. But in general, really pretty foliage, like silvery and silver blue foliage quite often is a good indicator for plants that can cope well with a very sunny location, other than hostas though. They're always the exception. But roughly if you have silvery blue foliage, you can always tell most of the time those plants really love to thrive somewhere in the sun. Here are the flower buds, by the way. We are close now so you can see there's a flower bud, there's a flower bud, so definitely more is on its way. Scabiosa are also totally dead, so this was a scabiosa here, and I really can't see any life in this little thing anymore. Oh, poor little thingy. Maybe we're going to trim some of these branches from the lilac back too. What do you think? Maybe we do that as well to have a little more space here, maybe even some more space for planting in the back. So maybe I have to still grab my secateurs. If we walk to the other side, the thing looks better, to be honest. Only the spring blooms, they look same treacherous. Like here, somewhere here there were pansies, and this is what's left from them, even less than on the other side. Can you see it? This was a pansy here. I have no idea, and there's a weed here. Nothing thrives but the weeds, they do. Little things here, okay, they go away. But at least the scabiosa survived here because it's not so frying in the sun. The grass looks fantastic, the wallflowers here, they still look nice. Oh, look, a pansy, one stem. I have one stem of a yellow pansy. This one survived here. This will be for the chop too, obviously, though. Then here in the back, there's some asters. They look nice. And if we just like walk around and swing around to the other side, now comes a car, I'm sorry. The eucharists here, oh, they're not happy campers. I hope that they're going to bounce back a little bit. And here, this is where we can plant a little more. I had some poppies volunteering here, and they're quite pretty. They were in a pale mauve tone, I would say, something in between violet and pink. Very pretty though. Here's some grasses, some dandelions, so all of that has to go. And then we have a nice space. I also might want to cut some of these things back here eventually, I have to see. But some nice planting space. So I think that anything is going to look better to how it looks now, and I'm pretty sure you will agree. Here you see all the plants that I found in the garden center, and I'm really happy about it because I really want to focus on color combinations of like beautiful purples, violets and icy yellows, and it was really difficult to find icy yellow plants this year. Everything was kind of like buttercup, or there was no yellow at all, and I really wanted to have some annuals because in this area here I like to mix things up and try out new plants and new plant combinations, and this is why I'm really thrilled because I have two total new plants that I never had before in my garden. So whenever I make a decision, first of all, I make sure that I have a color concept going on. So before going to the garden center, I know what kind of colors I'm looking for. And for example, they had some really nice colors, cannas in icy yellow, but they're tropical. And here for the front garden, I'm not going tropical. I'm really going for a mixture of like annuals, some, I don't want to say prairie planting, but plants that sit more like in the prairie world, like mixing with grasses, with different textures that attract a lot of pollinators, a lot of bees, and as you come close in a second, you will see them. So also make sure that I have different kind of flowers. Here I have spiky blooms, I have these almost disc-shaped blooms, and then I have like big pompons, like from the petunias, or like really cute pompons from the dahlias too. I also make sure that I always have a nice mix of foliage color, and foliage texture. So I always love to mix in something that doesn't necessarily come to bloom, such as this one here, licorice plant. I think this is the common name. It has a very interesting leaf variegation. So if you come closer, I really want to show you what kind of plants I found. None of them have a specific label name, so I can't really tell you. What you see is, can you tell? They really attract wildlife. These are buddlejas, two different varieties, and there are already a lot of bees flying around me everywhere here. But I really was keen on trying to squeeze two buddlejas in this area here. One is a very lovely pale violet with an orange-yellow center, and the other one is very rich and beautiful in color, a lovely purple. Purple is my favorite color, and it is almost a little bit pinkish as it opens. So very intriguing. I think that they will sit very beautiful next to another. Then the next purple plant, this originates from Peru, where it grows as a perennial shrub. I think this is how you can describe it best. I couldn't find a common name, just a Latin name, and I don't dare to say it now, so I'm going to give you the name here just down below the video, because I'm going to pronounce it dearly wrong, but I think it is very, very beautiful. I mean, just look at this deep velvety rich color in the blooms, and then also these really beautiful leaves here. They will be an annual plant, because if something grows in Peru, chances are they won't survive winter here with me. Then I have petunias. I love petunias, and here I have some doubles, and aren't they pretty? Really like little pompons almost, and they are like really icy yellow, little greenish towards the center, kind of chartreuse. So I think that they will be very, very pretty here. And I love to work with petunias also in the landscape, not only in like pots and baskets. I think here in the landscape they also make an amazing border or filler plant. Next to it, some dahlias. They are going to stay very small, obviously, so one plant is very petite, but I think for the driveway that's exactly what I need, because you still need to be able to get out of the car comfortably. And those blooms, icy yellow, very pretty. And if you look at these blooms next to the foliage here, I think that this is going to work extremely well. So the licorice plant has this kind of like silvery foliage. It is a little hairy, and this is definitely the indicator for plants that love to thrive in full sun. So this is definitely bound to work in this area here. And then the blooms like this icy yellow next to the foliage, I think that this is going to be very pretty. So what I'm going to do now is take all of the plants, distribute them, see if I can actually manage to get all of these plants in a space here. And once everything is distributed, I'm going to plant one plant with you just to share with you how I do it right, and then everything goes into the ground. This is my friend Claudia. She visits from Düsseldorf, and this is Alfie barking, by the way, because just another neighbor was passing. So if you hear Alfie barking, this is the proof that she looks very cute and innocent, but she has a different side to herself, so the dog can bark too. But Claudia is helping me, and the good thing is that Claudia loves gardening and loves to help in a garden. The irony of it all is she doesn't even have a garden on her own, so she has an apartment in the city center of Düsseldorf with a really cute balcony where she grows a fantastic acer with crimson foliage, and she has a fig that produces fruit that you've never seen ever before. A single fig is that size. They are yummy, juicy, yummy, delicious. I was very keen, and I hope that when she comes here that she's gonna have one of those figs already with her, but she said unfortunately car is coming, and unfortunately those figs weren't ripe yet. So That's what it is, but we're still going to focus a little bit on some planting. I've already prepared in this area here. So what we did is we tidied up generally. We started to tidy up a little bit the wallflower, and we distributed all of those plants that we want to put in the ground. For example, these really cute dahlias, they're going to go here right at the front. I think that they're still going to bulk up a little bit, but I'm not delusional. I know that they won't bulk up to this size here, so I think they're going to stay quite compact. So the first thing that Claudia's going to do, she's going to tidy up the entire wallflower here, and the way to do it is quite easy and simple. And Claudia's going to explain to you now how she does it. And I haven't told her up front that this is her job. I told her we're going to do it. I'm not going to tell you how this is going to go, so this is going to be a little bit of a surprise. So Claudia, how do you tidy up a wallflower, and why is it a good idea at this time of the year when they look like this and a little shrubby to cut them back?
Yeah, so I cut it here on the root. So it's not that root, but the root here.
So basically the stem where you have side branches, Claudia goes with the secateurs all the way into the shrub where you see the first side branches. And you leave the side branches. And why do you leave those side branches here?
Because there are already little buds coming, and there will a new flower come.
Yes, exactly. And the thing is, like all these spanflower heads, in theory, they produce seeds. And wallflowers here, because of the climate condition, they act like annuals. And when you have annuals, it is key and it's very important to deadhead your plant. And why is it so important to deadhead your plant? That is a question for you.
Oh God, I'm in school.
You're in school, right. I'm a nice teacher though, trust me. I grade you with chocolate later on. We have cake in the fridge. Why is it important to cut these out? We just spoke about it.
Yeah, exactly. But I told that already. I mean, because it makes the plant flower again.
Exactly. So when you cut it out, then you stop the plant from producing flower seeds, because annual plants, they think my life cycle is about producing flower seeds to have offspring. So once I have produced the seeds and I spread out, my job is done, and I can basically just like die back, and then my happy kids, they can come and grow for the next generation. But if you come in and cut all of these spent flower heads out and the seeds away, quintessentially what happens is your plant goes in a magic alert stage. It's like, alert, alert, I need to keep on flowering because I don't have offspring yet. And that is why it is vital to do it. And on top of it, I mean, look at it. They look so neat and crisp and cute now, so it's always a good idea to do so. What I'm going to do now is quickly plant the dahlia. And Claudia, don't think you're off the hook yet. I have more questions for you, because Claudia watches all of my YouTube videos. So even for her balcony, she said that she really took some good advice and some very good and valid information out of it, even though my garden is not quite the size of a balcony. So here in my last planting, I already came in and prepared the soil. So in theory, it should be nice and lofty, where theory and reality are sometimes two different pair of shoes, obviously. But still, it's still nice. So I can just come in with my shovel and just waddle around in it a little bit. We have a coaster approaching on the street now from the back, so I'm really sorry for that. So there you see, we just do everything in one take, and that's what it is. The cars and the grandma's approaching, so I hope she doesn't mind that. She's going to be on YouTube very soon. So what I do now is I prepare the planting hole, and then I come in with this here. So Claudia, why is it important to put in organic bone chips into a planting hole?
It's, I don't know the English word.
Fertilizer?
Fertilizer.
It's a fertilizer.
It's a fertilizer,
So
right.
microbes come in and break it down to nitrogen, and that is good because it doesn't only fertilize your plants, it feeds your soil. And this is a theory that I really love to follow. It's like I rather love to feed the soil, because then next year the soil is still good for more plants, rather than just feeding the plant sometimes with a liquid fertilizer. So the way on how to plant it now is just like I basically just press the pot, tip it over, get it out of its container. It has a good, nice root system. Nothing is pot bound. So what I do now is I put it in the planting hole. And how do you plant, Claudia? How deep does it go?
It has to be the same depth like the pot. You know?
Yes, as a soil basically.
Yes.
So
Yes.
as it grew in the pot, it has to be totally level when you level it into the planting hole. So make sure that it's not buried. It does not want to sit somewhere in a little ditch. And it also really does not want to stick out, especially on dry climates such as we have, because then those roots, they will definitely rot. So what I do now is I firm it in very nicely from all the sides, and then I'm gonna get the mulch back all the way around it. And why is it a good idea to have mulch in a garden?
Yeah, to prevent the wild
weeds.
weeds to grow.
Weeds from flying in.
Yeah,
That is
exactly.
definitely a good thing.
Yeah.
It really prevents weeds from flying in. And you can see there is a lot of like natural landscape around it here. It's a meadow. It's very pretty though, but if you have an area which you want to maintain, it's always good to mulch it because then weeds can't pop up so easily. And the second thing is that water stays in the soil better. So when the sun sits here, then the soil is going to keep the moisture better. And you saw an example because my pansies, they look great, haven't they? I mean, the mulch was definitely working fantastic. But 6 weeks of no rain, I mean, no mulch in the world can keep the moisture in the soil. So yeah, this is planted. This is looking nice and neat. Oh, isn't that cute? So what we're going to do now is we're just going to plant our way through here. Everything is going to find the way into the soil. And then at the end of the video, we can show you a really nice reveal on how everything looks. Long-time fertilizer in here. So sometimes the funny thing is when you came and you asked me like, are those slug and snails eggs?
Right.
And I was like, no, this is a fertilizer from the garden centre. It's like sometimes you have these like yellow round pots in here. This is a fertilizer that garden centre has put in there. When you squeeze it in between your fingers, they are kind of firm, they crack a little bit. While slug and snail eggs, they are very soft.
Different.
That's a fertilizer. And here from the previous plants that just haven't made it. So the poor pansies had a long-time fertilizer. Well, that was worth it.
But it doesn't work.
Didn't work, no. So every plant has a front and a back. And every planting hole has to be the right size. So this is why you sometimes should check it before you actually try to level your plant in there. But the good thing with buddleja is they're not fuzzy. They don't really have like specific requirements to the soil. So just normal garden soil will do it. Yep. It's kind of moist on this side though. It's definitely better on this side to what it was on the other side. Ooh.
This is for the composting?
No.
No. Okay.
Soll ich machen?
Einfach da in die Ecke oder was?
Ja. Ameise, genau, einfach hinten hin irgendwo. Ja, ganz hinten irgendwo.
Also.
Nee, nicht die Erde rausholen. Die brauchen wir ja schon noch. Mit den Händen durch und die Wurzeln raus.
Ja, herrlich.
Und bist jetzt quasi wieder gerade, keine Ahnung, wie alt du bist, 5 und im Sandkasten. Mhm. Yeah, looks good. Okay.
Moment.
sure if I have enough. I have another one too, but this one is deeper. Okay, really it has to be pushed down.
In, okay.
That's not quite enough. Just going to cut a little bit more. Just in case if you're wondering if I was in desperate need of an outfit change, no I wasn't. Last night what happened towards the end of the video, we wanted to film the end of the video and the clumsy me basically broke the equipment. So the adapter came for the microphone broke. So this morning we got a new one, everything is working. Luckily, so now we could really enjoy the noise of the cars. And I can also show you everything, so fingers crossed there will be a little less cars now, but it looks cute. This is a positive thing. And I think the biggest difference always is planting or no planting. If you just take a moment of time to tidy up a little bit, like these wallflowers, they look so nice and neat now. And what I love most, honestly, is a color combination of these like blue, silvery foliage from the wallflowers in combination with the dark purple blooms here. I think as these are going to bulk up and going to be like bigger shrubs toward the end of the season, I think all of this will be really nice. So I hope that when I come back with you in October time, we're not going to see all this mulch here. So I really hope that all of this is going to fill up. The asters are going to come to bloom later on, like late August, they will definitely start flowering. If we just swing around here, this is a really cute corner. The positive thing is, last night we didn't have enough of these three. So the fact that we had to go to pick up some new equipment for the phone was quite good, because then we could also make a stop at the garden center and buy 3 more of these. So now we really have this wonderful color arrangement here of the beautiful buddleja in this pale violet, really beautiful. It's scented too. I wish I could give you a name. Unfortunately, none of these plants came with a specific label, so I really have no idea what this variety it is, rather than it is beautiful. But really nice with a pale violet, then the dark purple here, the foliage interest, and these really cute little petunias here. And we didn't have to water anything last night, because me saying that there has hardly any rain, I clearly jinxed something. It was pouring down last night, but it was so good for the garden. So let's just have a look at the other side now, what we did over there. It's a lot smaller, so obviously you can't do too much, but still I think it's very nice and cheerful with the tiny dahlias here. And then you see how important sometimes it is to have plants just for the foliage interest, because it works really well with the blooms of those dahlias here. The same chartreuse tone that you find in these blooms is in the foliage again with the variegation. So a very cute little area here with the same dark, rich purple blooms. And then again, the wallflowers. I came in with a secateurs and cut out some of those branches here. So all of that looks now nice and you can really see all of the plants. And then we had the last buddleja where we honestly didn't really know what to do with that. So I thought, you know what, just quickly cut out a circle here, put it in here, and then now it can thrive in here. And to be honest, I really think that this is pretty much the beginning of an extension of this flower bed here. I really think, like in the next video, I'm probably going to continue removing all of the turf here and really make this entire part into a nice planting area. And then the buddleja can really be like the center part, especially for next year. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was fun and I hope it was interesting for you and that you could take some inspiration out of today's video. I would honestly love to welcome you next time around. So have a great day. Take care, guys. Bye.